So let me share my screen. If you can see my screen, let me know.
Yeah, I can see it.
You can see my. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. So let me bring an empty text up. So if you can see my screen, we are dealing on two things today. Let me just run it through so that we know the most important thing, because there are so many. Okay, this guy is in now. There are so many tutorials out there. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, but your network is a bit breaking.
It's breaking.
I can hear you. The network is breaking. Yeah.
It's breaking.
Yeah.
The network is breaking, but I can hear you, but it's breaking.
Okay. My network is okay. Maybe it's from the buffering. As we go on, it will be getting better. The more we stay on it, the more it improves.
It's getting better now.
Okay, but if you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, so on this our animation workflow, we have two parts of it. We have let me be putting it on the screen so that even though you're not hearing my voice earlier, we have the workflow is in two parts. The first part is dealing with the character image or the character. Image and scene. Let me zoom this in a little bit. So the second part is the animation. The animation itself, the animation proper with After Effects. Connect back. Can you guys hear me now?
Can maybe log him out to come back.
Okay.
He's back now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to see if the network will improve or make sure that it's not breaking again. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello, Mr. Sampson.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Mr. Emma?
Yeah.
So,
I can hear you. I can hear you, Mr. Frank.
hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, so
Can you guys hear me?
can hear you barely, Mr. Frank.
Shoot.
I love you, baby. You are my God. You are my God.
Nobody. Okay, if these guys can hear me, no problem. Let me go ahead.
Yes,
Because
can hear you.
there's no way I can help. Maybe when I record, I'll upload it for you guys. I'm not even hearing them. That's
Go
my
ahead,
own
please.
problem. Help me with that earpiece. I don't know why. This picture is not complete. Wait, that your picture. Okay, guys, since I can't hear you from your own end, let me just continue. Oh, so what is there is we have two part of this thing we are the workflow we are supposed to deal with. The first part is the part of dealing with the files. That is the image or the scene. While the second part is the animation itself. So let me deal with the file, the image and the scene. I'm going to bring up a new image or a new scene for us to work on together, and you see how things are being done. So these are this is a file I downloaded from Freepik.
Okay.
This is the file I downloaded from Freepik. This is the file I downloaded from Freepik. Hello, can you guys hear me now? Hello, can you guys hear me now?
Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, so go
Okay,
ahead.
okay, that's fine. Okay, so I downloaded this file from Freepik. So when you download the file like this, you open it with your Illustrator. Most times the file will be clumsy, as in everything will be together. They will match everything together to become one layer. So what you have to do now is to separate the layer, just like this one now. This is a scene with two characters, and they are in a, let's say, a radio room. So we have to now separate it. We have to now separate the scene or separate the characters so that you can now move some of the part of them, some part of the characters and animate them. So let me see if I can zoom my screen so that you see those, some of the things I will be doing. So this is the scene now. And so let's talk about this first. So what we do is, when you have this character, first of all, you remove the face or the head. Remove the face or the head. Let me hide other parts so that you see. This is the head. So this is the head of the character. We remove the head. That is, we separate the head, put it in a different layer. We separate the face. The face contains the eye, the eyebrow, the mouth, the nose. You put it in a different layer. So this is the face. Let me hide the head. This is the face. This one only has the eye and the eyebrow. Why this is the head? Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
This is the head. So Mr. Sanchez, you say what?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So after separating the head and the face, you have, or you can, if you can separate the hand, if you want to animate the hand to have a moving hand, you separate the hands and the fingers. So you put them on a different layer. Like the right hand here is on one layer, the left hand is on another layer. By layer, I understand. I mean, I know you understand how Illustrator works. So you know how to form a layer or how to create a layer. So after getting each of the part of the body in different layer, you might decide to leave the leg and the torso together. Leave the leg and the torso. The torso is the combination of either the chest or the tummy. since you are not breaking, it's not a flexible animation. You cannot break the chest from the tummy. So the tummy and the chest and the leg becomes your torso. So what this means is the only part you can animate on this character now is the hand, the left hand, the right hand, the head, and the face. Why the chest and the stomach and the leg cannot be animated in a flexible form. That is, you cannot move them separately. You have to move those part combined as a one layer. So having said that now, the next thing is the scene. The next thing is the scene. But if you have separated this character like this, it will be easier for you to animate in After Effects because you can choose any layer or pick any layer and apply any keyframe and effect to it. And you now animate it the way you want. So the other part is of the scene, that of the scene is you are using After Effects and the screen resolution for After Effects, animation for YouTube is 1080p. That is full HD. 1080p full HD. So for you to get that same let's say layout here on Illustrator, you have to make sure your screen match that resolution or match that size. So there's something we have as if you change if you're on Illustrator, you change your mood, Illustrator mode at the right hand. At the right hand where you have those layer and components. Can you guys see it now? Where I click, where the menu, the drop down menu is showing.
Okay.
Are you guys with me?
Yes, we are with you.
Yeah, so on that Illustrator now, the Illustrator application, where we have the mood, Illustrator mood at the right hand of your screen, just before the close button, you will see this menu where you have automation, essential graph, essential classic, essential layout, painting, and other things. Mr. Mark, did you see it on your screen?
Yes, I saw it.
Yes, so just
I can see it. Yeah.
So what you have to do is just switch the mood to automation.
Okay.
Whatever it is, they just switch it to automation.
Okay.
So when you switch it, when you look at the top of that your screen, you see something like document setup. Document setup and preference at the top. So when you click on it now, when you click on that document setup, it will bring out this pop-up menu. Did you see the pop-up menu?
Yes, sir.
So you click on edit artboard, edit artboard. You click on edit artboard. So when you click on it, the artboard that your scene is will be active. You look at the top of the menu, you see those artboard settings. Where
Okay.
I click now, and you scroll down, you see, when you scroll down, you see HDTV 1080. HGTV 1080, just before Xeon half and Xeon full. So you select it. Once you select it, it's going to give you this resolution you're seeing on my screen now. This square size and this thing. Let me have this thing so that you see it. So it's going to give you this white background like this. So when you're done setting that, the next thing for you to do is, the reason why you set this 1080p here on Illustrator is because when you import this file in After Effects, it will now use this resolution to match the resolution of your video, your animation video. And it will be easier for you to produce that same resolution because that's what YouTube we use. But if you don't do that, when you import this to After Effects, the image will be very small and you cannot zoom it. When you zoom it, it will lose the brightness or the saturation or the quality. So if you have understand how to set this is the basic of the Illustrator setup, the workflow for Illustrator. If you can set this, you set this resolution to 1080p HDTV. Then after you have set that, you separate some part of the character that you want to animate. Maybe if you want to animate the head, the hand, or the leg, you separate that, put it in a different layer. Then you make sure that your scene is the same size of the resolution you just created of the artboard. So you make it the same size, you enlarge it to be the same size. For example, this is my background now. This is my scene background. And I will make sure that it covers the artboard like this. Then I'll also make sure that every other thing is within this black line, this artboard margin. Then I'll move my character too to make sure that it's within that point. It's within that black line. So if I've set all this together, if I want to move any part, since I've separated each of the part of the scene to be in a different layer, that is if I want, or if I don't want, I'll leave them in one layer. If I want to separate them on a different layer, I'll separate them so that I can move them. I can move them separately, and I can apply animation effect to them when I import to After Effects. Are you guys with me?
Yes, we are with you, sir.
Mr. Samson.
Mr. Something, he has left too.
Okay. Okay. All right now. So let me import this character now with this scene to After Effects and show you how to apply keyframe animation to it. I just want you to just get an idea of how the setup, the workflow is. Then maybe when you do your first video, we'll now correct it. So I'll open After Effects now. So this is After Effects. I open it blank, no new this thing, just an untitled project. So I'll click on this place that says New Composition. When I click on it, it brings this composition setting. Then on the preset, I have to choose that same 1080p and 1080 HD TV too, just like I selected on Illustrator. But what I'm going to, there are two types there. The first one is 25 frame, and the first one is 24 frame. The second one is 25 frame. The third one is 29 frame. So you can either choose either 25 or 29 because of YouTube. Well, I'm currently using 29 frame. So I'll select that. Then on the pixel ratio, I'm going to select square pixels. Then on the frame rate, I'll put it at 29.97. That is what I selected. If I selected 25 from the preset, I will put 25 here on this frame rate. I'll put 25 instead of 29. But since I've selected 29 here, I'll put that same thing here, or automatically After Effects will reflect it here. Then the resolution for my own view on my screen, if you put it on full, your system will be hanging. So it's better for you to put it on quarter so that the system will have a free space to load other things. Then the start time code is how you want the video to start. It normally starts from 0.000 seconds. Then the duration is how long you want that scene you want to animate, how long do you want it to be? Most times a scene can be 1 minute, it can be 30 seconds, it can be 40 seconds, it can be 5 seconds. So it depends on the time. So you can put the timing you want the scene to be. For example, this my timing now is 2 minutes. I will leave it at that 2 minutes. Then the background, the last thing is the background. The background of the composition. So what we'll do is we'll normally leave this place at white color, because in case you do not put background on your After Effects. So I will click OK now. When you click OK, everything will, After Effects will load your composition screen. So this is your composition screen. Mr. Ma, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, like his mic is not on. So this is the composition screen. Here now, this is where you know how to import things in After 10. You guys know how to import things to After Effects. But this is the composition screen. This is where you have your composition. So let me import the AI file now from Illustrator. I will click on the import area. I'll go to the location where I saved the file. That file is a man standing. A man standing. So, but here's the most important step when you're importing the file. On that import as, just here below here, you will see footage, you see composition, retain layer size. You will now see the third thing there is composition. So, but you choose the middle one, which is composition retain layer size. whenever you're importing AI file, that is the type of import type you choose. But if you're importing audio, you can choose footage. If you're importing video, you can choose footage. But if you're importing AI file, that is Illustrator file, you select composition, retain, layer size. So when you select that, you click import. After Effects, we import the scene or the file. Then you now drag the file or the scene to your timeline, to your composition timeline. Just like I drag it now, you can see where my mouse, drag it and drop it there. It will now appear on your composition screen. Now, this is your composition screen. Did you see how it matched the screen? The screen we set here,
Yeah.
and the screen we set on Illustrator. So it will be easier for you to do this than adjusting your screen always. So just set the screen in Illustrator, set the screen here, and everything will match. So the next thing we now go on is to do the animation itself. So if you click on this file now, this AI file, if you double click on it, it will bring all the layers we have separated on that file, in that AI file, all the layers. Like this is the layer for the eye, this is layer for the head, this is layer for the chair, this is layer for the clock, this is the background itself. And this is the character hand, this is the character leg, just like that. So if I want to animate this eye now to blink, let me zoom a little bit small. I think it's okay now. If I want to animate this eye to blink, I will use what they call position keyframing. So let me go to that file so that I put this in order. So on this animation keyframing, we have position. We have position keyframe. We have rotation keyframe. We have scaling keyframe, scaling. We have wiggle. We have we have scaling, we have wiggle, we have rotation, we have skewing. So these are all the keyframe in techniques you can use. But let me use the position. By the position means I can move, I can keyframe my layer so that it moves up and down, as if the eye is moving up and down. Let me go to After Effects. So that my layer is layer 7, that is the eye and the eyebrow. So if I click on P, if I press my key button on my, after clicking the layer, just press on P button on your keyboard. It will bring position. You see position just below the layer. So just click on the small clock that you have there to give a start position. For example, if I want the eye to blink on this part of my timeline from 0 seconds to 0.04 seconds. So I will keyframe here. I will now click here. And if I click here, you see this little red box, little blue box. How do I zoom this thing? You see this little blue box here. Then the next position, the next place I want to do that is, after I've marked that the start, I will now move the eye to the new position I want it to be by using either my up arrow key or the mouse. Then I will move to a new position and bring it down. So if you look at the eye now, it's moving up, down, moving up. Let me just copy so that when I play the video, you see it. It's very long to do that. I should separate this my screen. I want to try and see if you can see the effect I've applied.
I can see it.
So if I play this animation now, you see the eyebrow and the eyes moving up and down.
Yes.
So that is position keyframing. That is I put the first position, I move the eye to a new position, then I bring it back to the former position, I move it to another new position. So if you're watching the video, you look as if the person is raising his or her eyebrow with his eyes up and down. So that is position keyframing. So that is how we use position to animate, let's say animate a layer. So let me show you the other, at least let me cover rotation too before we put it by this side. But on rotation, we can use, let me use the head. So if I should use the head now, let me say I want to rotate the head. First, I will have to move the anchor point. The anchor point is the center of that layer. The center of the layer, if you look at the head layer now that I've selected, there's 1 4 cross circle that is in the middle. So for me to move it now, I will press Y on my keyboard. That is the anchor point will be active. I will now move that anchor point to where I want the head to rotate on. Just like when we shake our head rotate on our neck. So I'll move it to the neck. Then after moving it to the neck, I'll press V to return my mouse pointer to select. Then after turning my mouse pointer to select, I will press R, which is for rotate on my keyboard. And if you press it, you will see that that layer now has a rotation keyframe effect on it. Then the next thing I will now do is I will press W on my keyboard to activate the rotation tool. So when I press W, the rotation tool is now active. Then I will now put the first position, the first place, or the start point I want the head to rotate from. I will keyframe that place by clicking on this small stop clock here, just close to the rotation word. So when I click on it, I'll move the time and the timestamp to a new position. Then I will use my rotation to here to shake the head like this. Then I'll move another timestamp. I will shake it from left now to right back. You can see that it's now rotating at that point where I put my anchor point.
Yes.
Move it back. So I've inserted them 4 keyframe now, keyframe points on the timeline for that head to rotate. So this is 5 now. So if I play it now, you see, so the head is moving.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how you use rotation to apply movement effect on the character. But if I want this eye, the eye and the head to move together, that means I have to put the eye and the head on one layer. Or if I do not put them on one layer, I have to combine them here to be on a new composition in After Effects. I have to combine them to become one composition so that I can manipulate them together. Then also the hand, just like I rotated the head, I can rotate the hand to move too. So I will apply rotation effect to the hand. I have to move the hand up, bring it down, bring it up, bring it down. Then I will now play it. Sorry, it's loading. You see the hand is moving now. I use the same rotation effect, but I move the anchor point of that hand to the shoulder, where the shoulder joined with the hand, so that it can rotate at that point of the hand. So that is it. Then the next thing that I might not cover here is the camera, how we position camera for After. But let me just rush to it, because everything I'm doing, I'm just rushing, but I'm just taking the core points. So after you have done with your layer file, that's your file, that's your AR file, and you have done with each of the layer in between. In each of the layer in that file, you have animated each of them and make everything okay. You come back to your composition and apply camera. So you click on your composition, you click on one of the file in your composition, you go to layer, you add new layer, you see no object, you click on it to bring this red object. You go back there to, you click on new, you see camera, you click on camera. This dialog box will come out, you click OK. It will tell you that you have not affected 2D layer. This, you just click OK. Then here, once you click OK, you come to the camera that you have just added, the camera file that you have, object that you have added. You drag it to, you parent it. By parenting, I mean you join it with the NOI file. You join the camera with the NOI file you created earlier. So you drag this thing that look like here. This thing that look like something fold, like a rope that fold. You drag it like this. It will bring a blue line. You drag it and drop on top of the null object. So when you drop it like that, you will see here on this part, you will see where it says link to null object. Then when you have done that, you now go to the null object. You press T. You will see opacity. You press P. You see position. But if you click this small arrow here, just close to it, where it will bring down all the transformation for you to use. You see anchor point, position, scale, rotation, opacity. Who is playing that ball? So for the position, okay, for the camera here now, you can use position, you can use scale, you can use rotation, but the most ones you always use is the scale and position. For example, now let me scale down. Let me scale up and scale down. So I add new keyframe. I scale up. Another thing is, before you apply camera to an AR file, or let's say the composition files, you have to now select them as 3D files. So let me go. When you go to the layer you want to apply camera on, you see this 3D layer effect. You see this 3D layer effect where we have all of the effect on the timeline, from FX to motion blur to adjustment layer. You see 3D just at the end before the parent and link. So you just click on it here. Yeah, you see this arrow, Y and X axis at the screen. Then you can now go back to your scale. So this is my new scale. So this was the first scale. This is my new scale. This one is the first, the original one without zoom. So this is the new one. It has a zoom. So if I play this now, you see that the video, the animation is zooming in, showing the character and the scene. Then if I want to apply position, I will click on position 2. Then I will move my position to focus on the character. So it's going to look like this. But let me zoom this. This thing will now zoom. Put it to 100. I think 50 will be better. 50. So this is on 50 now. Just zoom it to 50. So let me play it so that you see. I play now. The camera is moving. It's moving towards, as if it's zooming. So, but it's moving towards the position of the character, the way I move it to focus on the character. It has stopped now. But if I want to go back now, if I'm going back like this, if you look at the screen now, you see something like a square box and a red line. The red line is indicating the position where the camera should be positioned. Just like when you're videoing now. When you're videoing, if you want to zoom in, you want to zoom the focus in, you increase your zoom on the camera. If you want to zoom out, you zoom. If you want to position, you move the position of the camera to another new location. That same thing we are doing, but we are using two things here to do that. We are using position and scale. Position and scale keyframing to do that. Let me add another Let's go back. Let's focus on the seat. So this is how it's going to look like now. I play like this. Zoom in. Focus us on the character. As the character is shaking his head. Then when the character stops shaking his head, we zoom out. Then we move towards the seat. So, Mr. Emma?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
With you, sir.
Okay. So is there any question you want to ask? I know this is not that clear to you, but at least I'm trying to give you an insight of how we do things, how we do the animation in our own context, in our own context, so that you know. Because some of those YouTube videos might not match what we do. They might be giving you things that are more complex. Is there anything I did that you are not clear about, or?
I think I'm getting it.
Okay, you're getting it.
Yeah, I got it. Just that how you amnid the eyebrow and the head together. You said you recompose them, right?
If you want to animate the eyebrow and the head together, let me go there now and show you. So when you go to the file that contains, to the AI file that contains that composition, that character, you open it like this. So you click on the eye, eye here on my own. Maybe I will send this character to you so that you download it. I'll just send it the character that I've separated to you so that you can see what I did. So on this AI file now, I have selected, I'll open it in After Effects. It will open like this with the name at the top. Then I'll select the layer of the eye and that of the head together. Then when I select it together, I will now right click on them. When you right click, you see this menu like this. You will now look at pre-compose. Just below camera, you see pre-compose. You click on it. It will now ask you for the name of the new composition you want to. But since you have said everything about this your existing composition, this new composition will use the same thing, but we use the same settings, but it's going to be embedded inside your existing composition. So just give it a name. Let's say head, because it is the head. It contains the eye and the head itself. So we click on OK. So when you click on OK now, it has become one now. It has become a new composition inside that AI file. For example, now since I've done that, let me remove it from the screen so that you see. I will now mark on it. I've removed it. I've removed that composition. You see that now it removes with the eye. It removes with the eye and the head. And because I've joined the two layers into one composition, and that composition is embedded inside that AI file I imported. Then now I can now animate just only that head. Let me hide every other thing. I cannot animate only this head alone now. Just like this, just like I'm moving it. I cannot animate that head alone. Let's say I use position framing. I cannot say, okay, this head. I want this head to, okay, let me remove the previous animation I have. Let me delete it. So I've removed the previous animation I have on that head. So I want to apply, let's see, let me apply rotation on it. I will move my keyframe, my anchor point to the neck, to where the head join with the neck. Then apply rotation and keyframing. Let's see, each 0 seconds, the head moves like this, moves like this. It moves back to the previous position. Moves like this. Then I can now copy this my keyframe that I've inserted. I can copy it and paste and do repeated so that I will ease my work. I'll move it like this to a new position. I move the timestamp to a new position. I paste. This thing will paste. If you see this thing in blue, this keyframing in blue, that's what I'm saying. I've copied it now. I'll do Control C, Control V to paste. On each of the seconds, I want it to shake here. This is it now. So now I have animated that composition, that head composition that I joined together, the layer of the eye and the head. So let me bring you that thing. Then now I can now move I can now move my head to join the body like this. Then if I've done that, I will now go ahead to play it so that you see what I've done. Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
So it's moving, the head is shaking. But this time it's going with the eyes.
Yeah.
So that is it. But what I will do is I will save this After Effects 5 for you and that of the Illustrator file that I've separated. Then I'll send the link to the raw file that I downloaded from Freepik2 so that you can download it and see all the things I've applied and how I separated things together.
Okay.
So let me send them so that you use them. Maybe if you have any other problem, you can now address that. But at least I believe if you can go through what I've shown you here, you can create at least the 2-minute video that Mr. Steve is asking.
Yeah.
Because that 2-minute video is like at least you having like let's say 7 scenes. So if you can do a scene like this in 7 places with character moving and applying and camera, you're okay. And it's as simple as this, no complicated and this thing. Maybe one character or 2 camera will be, or sorry, 1 character or 2 or 3 characters, maximum 3 characters will be on the scene.
One scene.
And 1 scene. But you will not animate all of them. But you try at least animate the main character they are discussing about, either the hand, the head, or the eye. Then if you want to add any simple animation, maybe you make the clock to move like this clock now. You just make it to rotate round 360. So that somebody know that something, an effect is moving at the background. So this is as simple as this. You don't have to bring so many things to it.
Okay.
So I will send them to you now. And I'm also recording this meeting just in case you don't get it right. I will upload it to YouTube and send the link to you too.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Mr. Ma, thank you now. These other
Thank
persons are not online, so I will just record it and send to them.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you, sir.
Right now. Right. Let's see how it goes now. Maybe we'll do another meeting later, but let's see how it goes, Sha. If you can
All right.
produce a simpler thing. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Thank you, boss.
All right, sir.
Yeah.